Hello, my dear friends, and welcome back to my channel. Last week during a checkup, I was speaking with a patient, let's call him John. He's in his 80s, a man who has always been full of life and wit. He came in for a routine exam, but as we talked, I could sense a quiet sadness behind his eyes. His wife had passed away a few years ago. His children and grandchildren all live far away, busy with their own lives. He said something to me that has stayed with me ever since Doctor, I have everything I need. A house, a pension, and my health isn't too bad. But sometimes I just feel empty. I miss my wife's hugs. Just a simple pat on the back as she walked by or holding her hand while we watched TV. Those little things. They're gone now. John's story is not unique. In my 15 years of working with older adults, I've realized there's a fundamental human need that we often become too shy to talk about as we age. And that is the need for touch, for physical connection. Today we're going to have an open and honest conversation about this very topic, why your body still craves touch after 70, even if you don't admit it. I'm Dr. Khavari, and my work is about more than just treating urology issues or men's health. My job is to listen and to help my patients live a full and healthy life at every stage. And I can tell you with certainty, the need for touch is as vital as the need for food or air. It has no retirement age. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you received a truly comforting touch? Not just a quick handshake, but a touch that made you feel seen and cared for. It's a simple question, but for many of us, the answer doesn't come easily. From the moment we are born, touch is our first language. Before we understand words, we understand the meaning of a mother's embrace. It tells us we are safe. As children, a reassuring hand on our shoulder after a fall could soothe our tears faster than any words. As young adults, a high five from a friend celebrated a victory, and holding a partner's hand created a silent, powerful bond. Touch is woven into the very fabric of our human experience. But then as the years go by, something shifts. Society, in its own quiet way, starts sending us a different message. The stories we see on television, the ads in magazines, they all seem to celebrate youthful romance and connection. We are taught to fight wrinkles, not to celebrate the lines that tell the story of our lives. We start to believe subconsciously that the desire for affection and physical closeness is something we should have outgrown. But our bodies don't follow social trends. Our bodies remember. They are wired for connection through an amazing hormone called oxytocin. Now that's a scientific term, but let's just call it the connection hormone. Think of it as your body's own internal peacekeeper. When you give or receive a warm hug, a gentle pat, or even hold someone's hand, your brain releases this hormone. It's the feeling of all is right with the world, even for just a moment. It works like a natural, soothing agent, gently lowering your blood pressure, slowing your heart rate, and washing over you with a sense of calm and trust. It's your body's way of saying, you are safe, you belong, you are not alone. Now I understand. As we age, our personal space can become more important. We might not be as comfortable with casual touch as we once were. I'm not suggesting you go out and hug strangers at the grocery store. I'm talking about the safe, warm, and meaningful touch from people who matter in our lives, or even the therapeutic touch from a trusted professional. And when that touch disappears due to the loss of a spouse, children moving away, or just the natural changes in our social lives, it leaves a void, a kind of silent hunger. Experts call it skin hunger. It's a craving not for food, but for connection. And it's a hunger that can't be satisfied with just words over the phone. It's a deep human need for physical reassurance that tells us we are still a vital part of the world. Let's dive a little deeper into the science, but I promise we'll keep it simple and straightforward. When we lack physical connection, it's not just a feeling, it's a physical state. There are real measurable changes happening inside our bodies. First, the flood of stress hormones. When we feel isolated or lonely, our body's alarm system gets triggered, and it starts pumping out a hormone called cortisol. A little cortisol is fine, it helps you wake up in the morning. but when it's constantly elevated, it's like leaving an engine running in high gear all day long. It's that persistent feeling of being on, unable to truly relax. This chronic state of stress can disrupt a good night's sleep, leaving you tired and drained the next day, and it can even contribute to that brain fog that makes it hard to remember little things. But the antidote can be wonderfully simple. The deep, calming pressure from a heartfelt hug or even a reassuring hand on your back sends a direct signal to your brain to turn down that cortisol tap. It promotes a sense of peace that you can feel almost instantly. Second, we get a dose of nature's best medicine, natural painkillers. Beyond oxytocin, comforting touch stimulates the release of endorphins. I want to tell you about a patient of mine, a proud veteran named Robert, who lived with chronic back pain for decades. He was a stoic man, never one to complain. His daughter told me he would just sit in his chair for hours, quietly bearing the pain. She started giving him a simple 10-minute shoulder and neck rub each evening while they watched the news. After a few weeks, Robert told me during his checkup, "I don't know what it is, doc, but that little massage, it seems to take the edge off better than anything else." What Robert was experiencing was the power of endorphins. When you receive that kind of comforting, consistent touch, your body releases these incredible chemicals that act very much like morphine, but without any of the side effects or prescriptions. They bind to the opioid receptors in your brain, effectively blocking pain signals from reaching your consciousness. But they do more than just numb the pain, they also create a feeling of mild euphoria and genuine well-being. So, for Robert, it wasn't just that his physical pain lessened. His overall mood and outlook likely lifted too. It's a 2-for-1 benefit that is built right into our biology. Third, and this ties everything together, our overall resilience, both mental and physical, is strengthened. Think about it: when calming oxytocin and pain-relieving endorphins are flowing, and stressful cortisol is low, your body is no longer in a constant state of fight or flight. This has profound effects that ripple through your entire system. Your immune system gets a much-needed boost. In fact, studies have shown that people who receive more frequent hugs actually have a lower risk of getting sick after being exposed to a common virus. Your heart health can also improve. The same calming effect that lowers your blood pressure in the short term can contribute to better cardiovascular health over the long term, reducing the strain on your most vital organ. And finally, touch is the most direct antidote to the feeling of loneliness itself. Loneliness, as we've said, is a major health risk, but you can talk to someone on the phone and still feel alone. Touch bridges that final gap. It doesn't just tell you that you're not alone. It allows you to feel it in your very bones. It's a biological confirmation from one human being to another that says, "You matter. You are seen. You are still part of the tribe." I had another patient, Mary, who was 75. She was suffering from mild depression after moving into an assisted living facility. She felt she had lost her independence and her connections. I suggested something simple to her daughter: every time you visit, spend 10 minutes brushing your mom's hair or gently massaging her hands with lotion. A few months later, her daughter called me, her voice filled with emotion. "Doctor, my mother has completely changed. She's smiling more, talking more. That little hand massage has become our special sacred time together." That story shows that the power of touch doesn't have to be something grand. It's found in the simplest acts of gentleness and intention. Now let's talk about the most difficult part. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, or rather the quiet walls we build around ourselves that keep connection out. It's easy for me to sit here and talk about the benefits of touch, but I know that in real life it's not that simple. There are powerful reasons, both internal and external, that make us hesitate. Let's be honest with ourselves and look at them one by one. Barrier number 1, the myth that intimacy equals sex. We touched on this earlier, but I want to dive deeper because it is the single most common barrier I see. For many in your generation, the concepts of physical intimacy and sexual activity were taught as being one and the same. There wasn't a lot of conversation about the vast, beautiful spectrum of touch that exists outside of the bedroom. Think of it like this: conversation isn't just one thing. There's the light, cheerful chat you have with a neighbor about the weather. Then there's the deep, soul-bearing conversation you might have with a trusted friend at 2 a.m. Both are forms of communication, and both are valuable. Touch is exactly the same. A comforting hand on the shoulder is not a prelude to anything more. It is a complete, meaningful expression in itself. A warm hug from a child is not sexual. It is pure love and security. We need to give ourselves permission to decouple these ideas. By reclaiming the value of non-sexual affectionate touch, the hand holding the back, rubs, the gentle squeezes, we open up a world of connection that has nothing to do with performance or expectation, and everything to do with simple human comfort. Barrier number 2, the critic in the mirror. My body is old. This is a deeply personal and painful one. Our society is obsessed with youth, and it can leave us feeling that our aging bodies are somehow flawed or unworthy of being touched. You might look in the mirror and see wrinkles, age spots, scars, or a body that has changed shape over the years. And a little voice in your head might whisper, "Who would want to touch this? I'm not attractive anymore." I want you to know that I hear that voice, and I understand that pain. But I also want to offer you a different perspective. A brand new book with a glossy cover is nice, but a beloved book with pages that are soft and worn from being read time and time again holds the stories. Your body is that beloved book. Your hands tell the story of every meal you've cooked, every child you've raised, every garden you've tended. Your face tells the story of every laugh you've shared and every challenge you've overcome. I had a patient once, a wonderful woman in her late 70s. She had lost her husband, and after a few years began a new relationship. She confessed to me how terribly self-conscious she was about her hands, which were gnarled with arthritis from a lifetime of painting. One day her new partner took her hands, looked at them, and said, "I love your hands. They've created so much beauty." In that moment, he wasn't seeing the arthritis, he was seeing her story. Your loved ones see your story. And that is beautiful. Barrier number 3, the fear of being a burden. This is a powerful one, especially for parents and grandparents. You've spent your life being the strong one, the caregiver. The idea of now having to ask for something as basic as a hug can feel like you are being needy or becoming a burden on your busy children and friends. You think they have their own jobs, their own kids, their own stresses. I can't add my emotional needs to their plate. This feeling comes from a place of love, but it's based on a misunderstanding. Connection is a two-way street. A hug is not something you take, it's something you share. When you hug your grandchild, the benefit is not just yours, it is profoundly beneficial for them too. It teaches them empathy, security, and the importance of family bonds. When you ask a friend for a hug, you are giving them the opportunity to show they care, which strengthens your friendship. You are not a burden. You are offering a chance for mutual connection, a gift that nourishes both the giver and the receiver. The barrier 4. The simple awkwardness of being out of practice. Let's be practical. If you've lived alone for a long time, or if physical affection wasn't a big part of your life before, it can just feel awkward. The muscle memory for touch can fade. Reaching out for a handshake might feel natural, but reaching for a hug can feel foreign and clumsy. You might worry, what if I time it wrong? What if they pull away? This is completely normal. It's like trying to speak a language you haven't used in years. You might stumble over the words at first. The key is to start small. You don't have to go from 0 to a big bear hug overnight. Start with what I call a gateway touch. A light, safe touch on the arm or elbow when you're talking to someone. It's a small gesture that breaks the physical barrier without feeling overwhelming. As you get more comfortable with these small connections, the bigger ones will start to feel more natural again. Acknowledging these barriers is the first, most courageous step. It's about looking at the walls we've built and realizing they are not as solid as they seem. They are made of old ideas and fears, and we have the power to start taking them down one brick at a time. So you might be thinking, that all sounds wonderful, doctor, but how do I actually do it? My life isn't what it used to be. That is a perfectly valid question. This is the practical part. And I want you to know this isn't about making drastic changes or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about weaving small, intentional moments of connection back into the fabric of your day. Let's explore some gentle ways to do just that. 1. If you have a partner. Sometimes in a long-term relationship, touch can become purely functional, helping each other with a coat or passing the salt at the dinner table. The key is to bring back intention. Start with micro moments. You don't need to plan a grand romantic evening. Instead, when you hand your partner their morning cup of coffee, let your fingers linger for just a second longer. When you walk past their chair, gently place a hand on their shoulder. These small, non-demanding gestures can reopen the door to closeness. Relearn each other's language. Gently communicate your needs. It can feel vulnerable, but a simple phrase like, I was just thinking, I really miss holding your hand when we watch the news, can work wonders. It's not an accusation, it's an invitation. It invites your partner to remember and reconnect with you. 2. Lean into your friendships and community. Our circles of connection are often wider than we think. Make your greetings count. Instead of just a wave, offer a warm handshake or a gentle touch on the forearm to a friend at your weekly card game church group or book club. It elevates a simple hello into a moment of genuine connection. Don't underestimate platonic hugs. With close friends, don't be shy. A hug goodbye after a pleasant lunch can be deeply comforting for both of you. You might be surprised to find that your friend needed it just as much as you did. 3. If you live alone or your partner has passed. This can be the most challenging situation, but it is also where creativity and self-compassion can make the biggest difference. Embrace professional and therapeutic touch reframe services you might already use. The warmth of the water and the gentle massage from your hairdresser isn't just about getting clean, it's a moment of care. A manicure or a pedicure involves a professional respectfully holding and caring for your hands and feet. A therapeutic massage from a licensed professional can be a powerful way to soothe both aching muscles and a hungry soul. These are safe, boundaried opportunities for touch. The power of a pet. If your lifestyle and health permit, the benefits of a companion animal are immense. The rhythmic calming motion of petting a dog or stroking a cat is a proven way to release oxytocin and lower stress. The unconditional affection and physical warmth of an animal sleeping on your lap can be profoundly healing. Practice mindful self-touch. Now, this last one might feel a little new to some of you, but I encourage you to be open to it. This is about mindfulness and self-compassion. When you apply lotion to your hands or feet, don't just rush through it. Do it slowly. Pay attention to the sensation of your own gentle pressure on your skin. Feel the warmth. It's a quiet, powerful way of sending a message to your own nervous system that you are present and you are worthy of care. You can even give yourself a hug by wrapping your arms around your body and squeezing gently. It's a way of thanking your body for all it does for you. The goal isn't to do everything at once. Just choose one small thing that feels right for you this week. That single step can be the beginning of satisfying that deep human need for connection. So we've covered a lot of deep and important ground today. I just hope you'll remember these few core messages. First, your need for touch and connection is completely natural, normal, and healthy. It never disappears with age. Second, affectionate touch is powerful medicine for both your body and soul. It reduces stress, eases pain, and fights loneliness. Third, intimacy comes in many forms. Widen your definition beyond sex to embrace the hand-holding, the hugs, and the small gestures of care. And finally, you deserve to feel connected, cherished, and loved at every age. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I know this is a private topic and it's not always easy to talk about, but I hope this conversation has brought you a little warmth, a little understanding, and a lot of permission to be a whole human being. If you found this video helpful, please consider hitting the subscribe button so you don't miss our future episodes where we'll explore more ways to live a healthier and more meaningful life after 60. And if you can think of someone, a friend, a family member who might need to hear this message, please share this video with them. Until next time, please be kind to yourself, and don't forget to seek out those loving connections. I wish you all a week of health and peace. Goodbye.